Yep.
5, 6, 7, 8, all up for grabs still. So let's hear from the managers who are in the mix for European places, starting with Ange Postecoglou.
And then we need to win Sunday. to beat Bournemouth.
You've arrived and everyone's leaving.
Yes. Maybe next one. I cannot confirm.
I was going to say Brian's leaving, Adrian's leaving, Emma's leaving.
That is the next news.
Top 6. In your hands, top 6.
No, I think it's really important for us to finish in the way that we are doing now, and I think with the confidence and in the way that we were playing in the last few months, and I think it's really important for the team. It's really important for the player, for the club, to be close to achieve. One of the objectives that was to play in Europe next season.
And if things go your way, in terms of results elsewhere as well, even potentially top 5.
I think the most important now is to continue to perform and to try to beat, to be sure that we are going to compete in the best way. Again, Bournemouth is going to be a really tough game because they are doing so well. Raola is doing a fantastic job. And yes, it's tough, but I think the most important is to finish well and see after if we have the chances to get the place. Being fifth, I think will be amazing for us.
Will you, for once, be hoping that Spurs lose?
No, not really. We need to do our job and to after see what is going on. But I never wish bad things to the opponent. Always is about to deserve to win or hope that we can take advantage of the maybe a situation or a result that can give us the possibility to be in a better place.
Only been beaten once at home this year. It's nice that the season ends at home when you're on this run of wins as well. Do you expect to feel a little bit of love at the end of the game as you say goodbye to the fans for the season?
Look, I don't expect nothing. If after its natural things happen, welcome. But if not, it's not a problem. I'm always going to care about the fans, and always going to show my respect. That is the most important thing. The relationship is. We always try to be very respectful, and we are very respectful. We understand very well this business that in football, the fans are the best thing that can have, a football club, and that is why they are entitled to give their opinion in different way. You need to respect them. Like a coach, you need to respect because we are here because of them.
The majority of fans, we know that social media is very noisy and phone-ins are very...
Yeah, but even the social media now is being nice with us.
Yeah. They can really see most fans something beginning to happen here.
Yeah, but it's not a revenge. It's not nothing wrong. No bad feelings. Because the most important is that we are working for the club. We are working for them. For the owner, for the player, for the club, for the fans. The most important is to make happy them, because that is in the business that we are, and we play for them, and we want to win for them, and we want to achieve the things that they want also. But it's normal. I think we need to understand and we need to respect our fans, their opinion, and it's in us to change these feelings and build a relationship. Always is tough, even when you have a history. And of course, they need to trust in us, and in the only way that they can trust in us is through the result. No, because the process and the work that we are doing here inside, and it's difficult for them to really not to pay attention, but yes, to analyze or to judge, because they don't know what we are doing every single day. That is why sometimes, the coaches we show in front of you in a different way, because only we know in the way that we work, and sometimes when the result not arrive, it's like we are disappointed and frustrated. But look, that is in the way that we wanted to change the the view and the opinion, and happy that the team is showing that the fan can trust in the team. You're welcome.
John, BBC.
I'm going to say.
Hello.
You mentioned the owner there. I saw some quotes from Tom Bowley saying that there needs to be patience, which must have pleased you, didn't it?
Yes, yes. Always, it's important to have the back of the owners, and then they are the bosses, and of course, because it's the best for the club and it's the best for the player and for the fans. And then we know very well that coaches always is we are judged about the result, about in a very short period, But yes, I think it's important to feel, the back of the owner.
What would you say needs to be done over the summer to take that next step forward?
That is a subject to talk between the sporting director and of course the owner or the part of involved. I'm trying to see how we can, football is a very dynamic sport and always is about the thing can change and yes, we are working to plan, the strategy for summer and then for the pre-season and then to start the season in the best condition.
Hi Eric. How have the team recovered from yesterday and is there anyone back? Are you expecting anyone back for Sunday?
I can't say in this moment, but we're working on to bring players back. We have seen yesterday Licia Martinez. He had a good session now as well. There were also others on the pitch, like Rafa Varane, Victor Lindelof. They returned on the pitch, and we have to see how far they are, how far they are on Sunday. Tomorrow we have off. Saturday we have a training, and then we will see what we have.
You've obviously got the FA Cup looming large, and before that, the England squad announcements made on Tuesday. We've not seen Harry Maguire for a while. We've not seen Luke Shaw for even longer. What's the situation there? Are they going to be available for the Cup final? Are they going to be available for England at the Euros?
For England, I can't say. It's not up to me. But for the Cup final, we're working on. And I think Harry Maguire, I think it's a fair chance that he will be available. We plan him. Luke is more complicated. That is, in this moment, I don't think it's, let's say, it's a less chance that he will make it, but there is still a very small, reduced chance.
Are you able to elaborate on the setback? You're able to elaborate on the setback that you said he had recently?
Yeah, he had the setback, and now we have to find out how far he is.
Eric, the last two games, have Sofian Amrabat and Ahmad given you a selection problem for the FA Cup final? Because they've come from nowhere and both produced two really good performances.
It's internal competition, and I think they performed well first. I think they're progressing across the season is very good from both, and now they deserve the chance. They took the chance, and that's a luxury problem, which is good, and that is actually what I need, what I was waiting for so long. Actually, I was waiting for a whole season. So it's a luxury problem, and we need a squad to win both games.
Yesterday, Wolves released a statement about VAR saying they want to scrap it, and the Premier League are obviously going to vote on it. What is your view? Can you see a world without VAR, or do you think we're stuck with it and we've just got to try and make it better?
I don't think there is a way back, and so in principle it makes the football more fair. But there are some problems, and I think we have to find solutions for those problems. So we have to make improvements.
Hi, you mentioned the amount of potential you see in the squad. I wonder going forward, especially in the summer, what do you think you need to change or add for the squad to reach that potential?
I know I have this in my back head, and my focus is we have 10 days to very important games. So now the focus is on the 2 games.
Wayne Rooney was quite critical yesterday after the game about the squad in general, saying there needs to be an overhaul, you need to build around Bruno and the young players. Do you think that's quite unfair, especially considering the injuries you've had?
No, as I say, I look at the 2 games. That's important, and all the issues will only distract us. We know what we are building on, and we have to keep this process going. But at the same time, we have to win games, and 2 very important games. And so all the focus, for me, from the team, has to be on those 2 games.
Jonty.
Eric, what do you make of Brighton specifically, and how important is a big finish to this Premier League campaign, especially in advance of this FA Cup final?
Most important is our game, and of course, again, it's a typical style of play. Brighton, I admire it, the way they approach the game, and it's a real challenge. So we're really looking forward. But it's up to us. It's up to us to get the right plan, to get the right execution, so to prepare the team in the best way we can, and then it's about the players to get the win.
No doubt about it, an up and down campaign for yourselves. What lessons have you specifically learned about yourself during this campaign?
I think also that I don't go into a reflection in this moment. My focus is, and that is the main, I win those 2 games. And I think that is all the energy I have now has to be in those 2 games.
Neil.
Eric, was the last 2 games, I know you lost against Arsenal, but still the performance was there. Did it give you, or did it show the belief that the players are still playing for you? Because often when there's a run of bad results, they say, oh, he's not playing for the manager, but that was an example that they were.
There was only 1 very poor performance, and so all the others, there was always a very good spirit. I would also almost say across the season, across all the problems we had, and I don't think I have to sum them up again, but we have had them. But the spirit in the team, the fighting spirit was always there, the dynamic was always there, and I think we had also some good performances, even when the best players were not available. And sometimes, but when all the best players are not available and you have to change so many things, the patterns are not there and the routines are not there. Now lately, in the last 2 games, we are returning some players who progressed very well, came in the team, and the performance, as you say, we are good in the last 2 games.
Ange, final on the season, how are you?
Good. Yeah.
Good. How's the squad looking?
The only one that's out is Gio. Also, he got a bit of a knock when he came on. Didn't train today. We've got to train tomorrow, obviously. Everyone else still a little bit sort of recovering from the game, but nothing that I think will keep anyone out. So kind of a similar squad to last game.
Okay, probably want a time to move on now, but just final reflection on Tuesday night. Have those inside issues been addressed for you?
No, not in 2 days, mate. No. No, I think, as I said at the time, we've got some work to do, and that's clear and evident, and that's what we need to focus on.
Has this week made you even more determined to turn this football club into winners?
No, mate, I've been determined from day one. Nothing's changed. I haven't been deterred, if that's what people are worried about. Certainly not. It's. I think when you accept the role, you accept the challenge of that role, and nothing that's happened in the last 2 weeks has changed my view on, how we go about that. So, but I also believe that you have to know where you're at. There's no point sort of kidding yourself that you're somewhere you're not, because then you can't improve.
It's been quite a season. So many ups, some downs as well, which you've mentioned. How do you expect the club and the players, the club in general, to look in maybe 12 months' time?
Look, it's hard to say. because as I said the other night, you know, I think we've made progress, but there's obviously still a long way to go in sort of believing that progress is entrenched in the team we're going to be next year. But the flip side of that is that, you know, I've said recently that there's a part of me that thinks it's pretty exciting as well, because for a lot of these guys, you know, they've set a pretty decent level of performance in their first or second year with us. And, you know, if there's growth there, then I think it'll make us a better football club next year. And I certainly feel like, you know, we'll be starting well ahead of where we were at the start of this year, for sure. Where that takes us next year will be dependent on how we deal again with whatever challenges we have.
I know you want to bring trophies to this club. One of your former clubs, Celtic, sealing the title this week. Just a quick word on them.
I love it, mate. Yeah, brilliant. Great people, great manager, great staff, great footballers, unbelievable club. And yeah, I watched the game and I know, because I've experienced how they would have felt at that final whistle and then going back to Celtic Park late at night. It's a pretty special place, and credit to them. It was a difficult year for sure for Brendan and the guys, but when it mattered, when it counted, they stood up, and couldn't be happier for everyone there.
Been a pleasure. Speak to you in August.
Thank you, bud. Charlie.
Hi, Ange. I interviewed Dejan Kulusevski yesterday, and he said, yes, the players are hurting because, you know, you haven't been able to qualify for the Champions League. But he said, nothing great is created in one season, and there'll be plenty of positives to take away into the summer. How does it make you feel when you're hearing that kind of review from one of your players?
Look, I guess it's important that obviously the players are the most important component in all this, you know, irrespective of kind of my ideas or what I feel, you know, needs to improve. It does need buy-in by the players. I think we've had that for the most part. I guess my sort of assessment at this point is that, you know, a lot of it I still don't feel is embedded in, you know, in everything we do. And until it is, it's very hard then to kind of think about how do we get to the next level until, you know, I'm reticent to move on, you know, from where we are now in terms of what we're trying to build, unless I really feel that, you know, players, staff, everybody is kind of really firmly on board with the way we want to play and the way we want to sort of train. So, but it does need, you know, buy-in from the players. And the one thing I will say about, you know, the whole playing squad is that it hasn't been through a lack of effort or trying. You know, they've given their all this year. We have, you know, tangible physical data that shows us that. You know, there isn't a game where they haven't spent it all out there. It's just that sometimes, you know, we haven't got reward for it.
Obviously, it's been such a busy season. You've got this game on Sunday, and then, of course, you go to Australia next week. But for yourself, you know, your first season managing in the Premier League, when will you have the time to really reflect on how the season has gone for you, and how would you reflect on it?
Yeah, look, I think, you know, you kind of start that process towards the end of the season. You know, there's various sort of meetings I'm having this week. Obviously, we've still got a game to go, which is very important for us. But, yeah, trying to get sort of as much information as I can before I start sort of really reflecting, because, you know, you to get a real sort of accurate picture of where we're at, you've got to go right back to the start, and sometimes some of that's a bit hazy, so it's important you get all the right information, talk to the people who've been there since the beginning, coaches, staff members, players, and sort of, you know, collate all that, and then, you know, when the season's done, sort of take my own time to sort of go through it methodically and sort of give myself an accurate picture of where we're at, so that, you know, when we come back for pre-season, we're in a space where we can, you know, hit the ground running.
Yeah, it's a big last day for us. There's no denying that. I think we go into the game against Brentford knowing we have to do our part, which is try and win the game. That's no mean feat. That's going to be a tough game for us. And then we're in the hands of other clubs.
Okay, so the permutation, sixth will qualify for Europa League if Man City wins the FA Cup. Or the Conference League.
When they
if.
say the FA Cup. When they
Sorry, it sounded like you said when. It will be when they win it.
If Man United wins the FA Cup, they will go in.
Actually, I can predict the future. I can actually predict Manchester City 3, Manchester United 0.
Click that up.
Can I have the lottery numbers as well, while you're at it?
Can we talk about Chelsea? Because they will be guaranteed European football if they win or draw. It's all in their hands. And their turnaround has been remarkable.
Well, yes and no. I've always been of the opinion, having covered teams that Mauricio Pochettino has managed, that they would come good. There has always been a team in there, and you could always see what he's been trying to do.
Espanyol?
Espanyol, he was fantastic defensively.
They went relegated, weren't
Yeah, that was the unbelievable bit.
Yeah, quite exactly. But you see, what the reason why Rupert Lowe took him from Espanyol to Southampton was because even though they didn't have the resource to stay in the Liga, the way that he played his football, building from the back, he was an accomplished defender himself, gave him it convinced him that he could do it at Southampton. And when he did go to Southampton, they were the best defensive team in the country. Then he goes to Spurs, joint best defensive record with Man United the first season, second season best defensive record outright. And I think with this side, the buying policy of the club has hamstrung them. But if you look at the recent record, they've had 7 wins from their last 8 at home, and only City and Arsenal have picked up more points in this calendar year than they have done. And
Not Liverpool as well?
No.
Okay,
Liverpool dropped a hell of a lot of points in this calendar year.
So you think Tottenham then?
That's what it sounds like.
They're playing Sheffield United.
Exactly. The unfortunate thing for Chelsea is that the run began slightly too late.
Yeah.
Had it begun sooner, I think they'd have done it.
You mentioned Cole Palmer. Let's talk more about him because he has been phenomenal. One of the standout signings of the season, incredible player of the season, 33 appearances, 22 goals, 10 assists.
He's been the most important player for Chelsea, the most influential player for Chelsea. Going there for £40-ish million without having that much Premier League experience of playing for City, I was a little bit dubious at first because I wasn't sure if he'll be able to live up to that price tag. It's a big price tag for somebody that's not really played that often. Watching him in his first 5 or so games, I was impressed. I was really impressed by how he's just taken it all on board. And Chelsea is one of those places, one of those clubs that is relatively unforgiving because of the quality of player they've had in the past, especially players that play in his position. The expectation is, if you're coming to our club and you're and we're paying this much money for you, you've got to deliver. He's done that and more. I think the biggest thing for me was when he missed the Arsenal game, watching how Chelsea played in that game. They were a shadow. Now, don't get me wrong, they haven't been fantastic all season by any stretch. However, in that game, just reiterated the importance of him in that team. He draws 2 defenders out, which means there's going to be somebody else, somewhere else on the pitch that's free. He finds that player, or he drifts into an area where he's able to put the ball in the back of the net from edge of the 18-yard box, or find himself in the middle of the 6-yard box.
It's weird, isn't it? Because
brilliant.
He's not as technical as Bergkamp. He's almost like there's a contemptuous, arrogant way about he can swing
he can left-footed type.
Swing a lazy boot at something, but thread it through to wherever it needs to be. Even the way he took that header on the run, directing it in the right place. There's just something very naturally gifted about the way that he plays his football that makes it beautiful to watch. I liken him to Berbatov. I loved watching Berbatov play, and I think
he gets through a bit more work than Berbatov.
I mean, just a little bit.
But he's a talent, and good for England, huh?
Yeah.
We've got some
try him on the right or Saka.
Oh, Saka without doubt. And still, he's my favourite. Yeah.
Because he's Arsenal.
He's player of the year last year. He's the best player in the World Cup. You know what I mean?
But now, come on, Eppelman.
I think at some stage I'm waiting for Saka to hit a brick wall, to be honest with you. He's been so good for so long. You know, he carried the team in early days with Arsenal. He carried the team, when they were kind of mid-table and stuff. He grabbed them up, and then last year he was phenomenal. A little bit lost. And he don't forget, Mark, if he's got one criticism on Arteta, he plays him every single game. You don't give him no rest periods whatsoever, because maybe you don't trust what's coming through underneath him, but he's playing boom, 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 boom. And if he was like Grealish or he was playing for Man City, Saka would be right up there.
He's robust, isn't he?
Yeah.
So what do you think, Tony? Spurs 5th, they beat Sheffield United, and then Chelsea just behind them?
I think so. I think it looks. I don't think they're going to slip up against Sheffield United. I think they're too good, and the way they played against City, I thought was, like I say, the professionalism was first class. And for an Arsenal man to say that about Tottenham, should we move on? Should we ask
We're
that?
pretty shook here, yeah.
Yeah.
And then just below them is Newcastle, Man United. What chance do you give them? And Man United, as you're already saying, when they lose the FA Cup, but they could still qualify by winning.
To finish where?
I don't think Man United
to
deserve
qualify.
anything this year, to be honest with you. They've been really poor.
Darren and I have had this conversation many times about Manchester United, right? They rely on individual moments of brilliance. They're not a fantastic footballing side. They don't break teams down.
No ideas.
No ideas at all. And it's, for me, that comes from upstairs. You know what it's like. As soon as you get a new manager in, within the first 2 weeks, you know exactly what the manager wants you to do. You know how he wants you to play. You know the intensity that he wants you to play at. Manchester United don't have that. They have Garnacho, who does individual moments. Great talent for the future. Bruno Fernandes.
I don't think they're ever moving forward.
He's got potential, hasn't he?
Are they moving forward in that?
Well, this is the other side of it. You normally see players improving under managers. I don't see any. Kobe Mainu, the young boy through the middle.
And then did himself
who was the young boy that came off the right as well? You know that. Ahmad.
Yeah.
Diallo.
Yeah.
So apart from those two, everybody else is kind of like, they've stagnated. They're not improving. And for me, you need a team. If you've got a manager, a good manager, your team has to improve. The individuals have to improve. And we've not seen enough of that. So I can't see Manchester United finishing above any of those sides.
What do you think?
I'm with.
Yeah, don't deserve anything.
And you don't think they could pull off something on the final?
No. I think, and you know, sometimes I sit at home and watch shows like this, and the person sitting.
I always watch this, Darren.
Sometimes. Do you mean sometimes?
You're on it all the time, though. You watch it. You're in reruns of yourself.
Sometimes.
I've heard about your
See where he can improve.
Analysing my performance today. Nothing like Man United.
My energy levels are depleting.
But no, it's true, and I was right. Man United, they're just so inconsistent. And many times I've been on here, you've asked me about, could this be that they've turned a corner? And I'll say to you what I said to you then. They are just too unreliable. They've become a team during Fergie time when you never gave up on them, because right up until the last minute, the last second of injury time, they could score a goal. Now they've become the complete opposite. They are a team you simply cannot trust.
Do you think Chelsea can win against Bournemouth? I know very well Chelsea will win against Bournemouth with this form they are now. But the main problem is not rely on only Chelsea winning, because we rely on Sheffield United to win against Tottenham for us to qualify for the Europa League. Anything can happen within Tottenham and Sheffield United, but we need to do our job by winning Bournemouth. Who do you think will qualify in the Europa position? Feel free to leave your comment in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. See you in my next video. Bye for now.